had no idea that we were walking in to see the Shroud. Everybody on the plane spoke Italian but me. I know when I went in that building, something was different about that. We want to go to Italy, but I don't want to take the children. I saw the Shroud in Italy, and I want to tell you the story of what happened in the little church in Turin, Italy. It was the year before the Olympics were there, which I don't know what year was there, but it was that year. And we're going to be doing makeup because this is actually now my therapy. I'm sitting here talking to you doing my therapy, and that's what we're doing. We are going to start with skincare before I start telling you about my Shroud story. This is their Wrinkle Eliminator. This is a brand new product with Mary Kay, and they claim this to be comparable to the injectables that you go get at the doctor's office, like a skincare doctor, if you're knowing what I'm saying. So I have been using this on my eyes, and I do notice a difference. Truly, there is a difference. I can see it. I'm going to link this below. I am a seller of the Mary Kay makeup just because I just needed something to do. I needed this therapy. So this is going to be linked there. Try it. It works. There's that. So we're going to start with the time-wise. I did put this on already. I put it under my eyes, and then it's made for your eyes, but I do put it on my lip also because I used to smoke, and I have those deep wrinkle lines, and I had skin cancer there. This is the deep wrinkle repair. We are going to put this on my smoker lines because I mean, and I about need a new tube here because it's working. I'm seeing a difference. They're not as deep as they used to be. So there, that's where that goes. And here, I just kind of ring it on there. I think that's called a marionette line, and my grandmother had it, and I have it now. So I should love that, right? All right, so I went to Italy. We're going to use this moisturizer time-wise. They have a lot of good moisturizers on the Mary Kay site. So what happened when I went to Italy? My ex-husband, he's my ex-husband now, and I decided, hey, let's go spend a month in Italy. He had family over there. We had places to stay. So what did I do? I called my mother, and I said, because I had 3 teenage daughters, or in that age group, and I'm like, hey, we want to go to Italy, but we don't want to take the children. We don't want to take the teenagers because, quite frankly, all the teenagers do is fight. And it would be very, very embarrassing to us to take the teenagers over to Italy to stay with my now ex-husband's family and have them fight in front of his family. And because I know they will. That's what my teenagers did. I just know they would. So I called my mother, my mom on the phone. Hey, my mom's like, oh, that would be a great opportunity for you. You should go and we'll watch the kids. I'm like, it's going to be 4 weeks. Are you sure about that? Yes, we're sure. You need to go. It's a great opportunity. I'm going to use this foundation today. This is a different one. This is actually their CC cream in the shade that is, I think, 1 shade too dark for me, but we're going to make it work. We could do that. Perfect favorite brush that they have. This would be it. Watch what happens. You put the foundation on here, and then you just start spreading around, and you don't have to touch anything. And look at this. It just smooths right on there. This is my favorite. So then I said, well, we need a ride to the airport also. And she's like, well, me and your dad, we could take you. When the kids are in school, we'll run you up there. No problem. It's like an hour away to the airport. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, got our tickets, and the day came. Now, my mother-in-law at the time was Italian. The family was from Italy, okay? And she insisted that we pack 4 suitcases. My ex-husband would have 2, and I would have 2. 4. And then we had our carry-on. We're flying out of New York, so we had to go to the Cleveland airport to go get on a plane, to go to New York City, to get off the plane, to go to the other airport in New York City, to fly international over to Italy with our 4 check bags in our carry-ons. So we did that. And I really, really think that we were both really upset by the time we got there with my mother-in-law, because it's like, you have to take all these bags in Italian. Say that in Italian. So we did. We took them all. People were staring at us in the airport. They were. It was like Yes, we know we have 4 suitcases. We do know that. We know. And we know we're flying international. We know that. We do know that. So we get to the airport, the international New York airport, because we had to get on a taxi from the New York airport to the other New York airport with our luggage in the traffic, and we had to make it there in 2 hours. It was we had to get there. So the taxi driver's like, no worry, you got us there. We were there. So we did get there. So anyway, we're sitting waiting for the airplane, and I'm looking out the window at this airplane. It's the biggest airplane I have ever seen in my life. I've never seen an airplane bigger than this. It was huge. It was long. It was big, tall. It was huge. Never in my life before have I ever seen a plane like that. We're going to get on that, and that thing's supposed to stay in the air. So no, but really nobody's there when we're there. And I'm so mesmerized over this big airplane. It's like all of a sudden I turned around and the whole lobby is full of Italian people. Full of Italian people. They're full of my mother-in-laws talking, and it's like, oh, okay. Now, I can't speak Italian, but I kind of can understand it because I've been with my ex-husband long enough that I understand I get what they're saying. We're going to do a little bit more on my chin. Now, if this looks patchy or splotchy or anything in this video, it's because I don't know what I'm doing with my lighting. In real life, this is really good. It really covers. It feels good. It's not heavy, and it's not splotchy or patchy. Trust me. Trust the process here. So I turned around, and there's all these Italian people, and I'm like, what the heck? Where did all these people come from? And my ex-husband said, well, the room has just been filling up. You've been staring at that airplane. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, sure have been staring at the airplane. So we get on the airplane. I've never seen anything this big. There's 3 rows of seats. It's huge. There's an upstairs. There's stairs. It's huge. Huge. We get in our seat. That wasn't very huge. There's not a lot of room. We're going to be on this plane for 18 hours or however, lots of hours. And there's not a lot of leg room, and we just had to deal with that. So everybody on the plane spoke Italian but me. We're going over there, and this little girl on the airplane, she starts talking to me in Italian. And I'm looking at my ex-husband, and he's my translator because he's pretty good with Italian, and he speaks good enough, okay? So he's helping translate what this little girl's saying to me, and I'm just... So, the stewardess comes over and asks me in Italian what I would like to eat. I don't know what I was thinking. Let's go to Italian where you don't understand, or Italy where you don't understand one thing. That would be a really fun trip, don't you think? I thought so. Okay, so now they have the setting powder that I am going to use. I put it in the lid, just use a little bit. And this is probably too much, and it's probably going to get all over my shirt, but I am not a makeup guru. I put makeup on. So... the little girl's talking to me, and I'm trying my hardest to talk to her, and my ex-husband's trying to, decipher what the little girl's saying, and we're just having a time. We get to Italy, we land, and this little girl, we're getting off the plane in Italy. In Rome, this little girl looks at her mother and says something in English to her mother. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? This child can speak English, but this whole plane ride, she's been speaking to Italian to me, and I have no idea what she's saying, and I'm trying to figure it out, and I'm like, okay, got me, little girl, you got me. So anyway, now I'm gonna go in and this is their contour shade. This is a magnetic palette. This is the contour shade, 2 shades. This is a little too dark for me, so I don't normally use that. We're gonna use this one. And I am going to put it on my nose because I have a very large nose, okay? It's very wide. So we're going to try to make an illusion that it's not that wide. So we are going to put this right here, and we are going to blend up the nose. Just trust the process. You'll see. So we get off the plane in Rome, and we have to take a bus. So we get off the plane and get on a bus to get to the actual airport. I don't know what I was expecting. I don't know, because we walk in the airport and there's men all around the airport up on these big pillar things. They're roosted up there, and they're everywhere, and they're walking around, and I'm like, what did I just do? Where are we at? And my husband, he's like, oh, I forgot to tell you, this is normal for them, or whatever. And I'm like, oh. He made me feel better about all and with these big old standing at where we want to go, and it's like, here I am in a country. I'm going to put some of that white powder there because I did not do a good job blending this side. So anyway, they send his uncle to pick us up, and he shows up. Now, mind you, he shows up with this little car because in Italy they have little cars. In fact, the smart car was over there first, and that's the first time we ever saw the smart car, you know, the little compacted car. We're going to go back in with this, and we're going to cut this right here because we're just going to cut this here because it'll give me a more chiseled jawline and I won't look so old and fat. He finds his car, he shows up, and he's like in Italian talking about all the luggage that we have that we're going to try to put in this little tiny car. And it's like, we traveled with this, we've carried this, we've had to find carts, we've had to do this, but we got it there. And the reason we had so many suitcases is because we were taking over stuff to leave there for them, and heck, we left the suitcases there too because we were over those suitcases. So we get in the car and we drive, I forget the name of the city, but on the Adriatic Sea, it's over that way. I'd have to look it up. So we drive from Rome all the way over to there because they had a house on the sea. So we got to stay there. And that's when I met his aunt. And I'll tell you, his aunt was a lot like his mother. They're like twinsies. So anyway, if he's watching this, he'll understand that. So anyway, we're exhausted. We just traveled. We didn't sleep for like 24 hours. We're exhausted. We go lay down in a room. And in Italy, they have blinds that they all shut. The room is totally black. Totally black. You just shut everything up over there. At least there they did. So we did that. We slept for 24 hours. We slept clear till the next day. I mean, we slept 24 hours. And we got up and, okay, so there's all that. So we went there first. We stayed there and we got to swim in the, it was nice. It was nice. We stayed there. So then, okay, next. We're going to do blush again in the thing. I'm going to have a link below. You can get all this stuff, okay? So then we have to take a train. We got on a train, we went to Torino. That's where we went next. And we stayed with family in Torino. It was nice. Italians eat differently. You eat dinner at like noon or 1 o'clock, and it takes you 2 hours. It will take you 2 hours to sit there and eat, which American girl here, not used to that because at the time I'm like, I eat a half a sandwich and walk around and do stuff. I never sit down and eat. I just never did. Dinner, yeah, but not lunch. So, I mean, that's what we did. So we wanted to travel around Torino. We wanted to walk. We did a lot of walking. We were walking around Torino. Okay, here comes the Shroud one. We're walking around Torino, and we walked into all the churches. Any church that was there that was open pretty much, we went in because they're so beautiful. They're just beautiful. One church we went in, I hope that's not too much. Again, not a makeup guru. One church we went into, it was full of nuns, just completely full of nuns, and they were all singing. And it was the most beautiful thing. I know it sounded weird. The most beautiful thing I've ever heard. All of these nuns were just singing. This is their brow product, little brush. I have brows from the 80s overplucked, and this kind of fills them in, gives them some life. We need to give these brows a little bit of life, so we're just going to do that. So, oops, see, not a makeup guru. Oopsies. Okay. Beautiful singing nun. And they all sang soprano, and it was just beautiful in Italian. I didn't understand it, but it was beautiful. So, here we are walking around, and at the time, my ex-husband looks Italian. I didn't look Italian. I had the blonde hair and I was very skinny. His cousin said that we can't walk around Italy with me without somebody else. We have to have other people with me walking, and just because. I remember some guy yelling from the street at me, and it was just, we needed to do that for protection. So we did. Wow, look at that made that much better. So we did. I walked around Italy. You know, the guys, they all followed us where we wanted to go. It was no problem. And when we wanted to go to a store, they kind of waited outside. His cousins did. And I kind of walked in the middle. Wow, that really did give me a lot of brows, didn't it? Let me brush that out again. It kind of gave me protection. I would stay in the middle of them. One would walk on one side, one would walk on the other, and we would just, that's what we did. So I was in the middle of the guys, and they were surrounding me, and we walked all over Torino. We went everywhere. We got to see everything. And it was just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So there was this little tiny church, and I think it was below, like there's a big castle on the hilltop, I think, or big, and then down below it was this tiny, tiny, tiny little church with a steeple. And I thought it to be odd because it was so small. Everything else was so big and beautiful and everything. So I said, I want to go in there. And they're like, all right, we'll go in there. We had no idea that we were walking in to see the Shroud. No idea. Zero idea. I'm going to go in with something. This is their purple eyeshadow. They do have a lot of eyeshadow pans that you can put in the magnetic thing. They have smaller magnetic things also. I had no idea. No idea we were walking into the Shroud. No idea. So, I have a hand mirror. We're going to use that. So, we walk in the church, and it's quiet. It's just so quiet. And it's like, you can tell just by the air, the atmosphere and just the air, and it's like, so something is different here. Something is different. So we're walking around, and somebody said to me, oh, the Shroud is here. And I'm like, what? Where? Because the whole church, I remember being round, and, you know, I wish I could have taken pictures in there, but you can't take pictures in there. And I'm like, what? Where? So I walked over to it. We walked over there, and I'm just looking at it. And there's a few other tourists in there, and everybody's just quiet. It was the most peaceful atmosphere I could ever be in. Whether anybody believes in the Shroud, don't believe in the Shroud, it doesn't matter. I know when I went in that building, something was different about that building. I know that. So we walk over to the Shroud, and we're looking at it, and somebody said, the real one is in the basement. This is a replica. I do remember somebody saying that. They thought. And, of course, everything is in Italian pretty much, and can't read anything. But I think I'm glad that I couldn't read anything, because I could feel. And what I was feeling was just peace. The most peaceful feeling I've ever felt. And in that moment, I heard a voice in my head saying, Michelle, what are you doing with your life right now? What are you doing with your life? And I have a background in, we used to live next door to the Nazarene church. And I started going there when I was 5 years old. Never missed a service, never missed a revival, never missed anything. I've been in probably thousands of church services with the Nazarene church, you know, and camps, or, you know, camp meetings and everything. Been there, done that. So I'm like, I know what that is. I know that right now God is talking to me, and he's saying, Michelle, what are you doing with your life? And I at that point heard that. I heard that, and I'm like, yeah, probably stuff I shouldn't be. So we I don't even know how long we were in there. We were in there, let me look here. We were in there long enough that somebody said, are we ready to go yet? But do you know when you go into a place and it's like, I just don't want to leave. I just don't want to leave. That was that place. It was different. It was, I can't even explain it, how I felt in there. We finally left, and I'm like, yeah, I know. What am I doing with my life? everything I shouldn't be doing with my life. And if God would come back right then, would I go to heaven? Probably not. Just a guess. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe I would. I don't know. I can't say that. We left there, and I left there a different person. I know I did. I'm going to blend with this little brush because I have hooded eyes, and sometimes we have to deal with this right here, this part. I left there a different person than who I was. I was a different person. Does that look all right? I don't even know. I don't like this look, but okay. We're just doing purple everywhere. Again, not a makeup guru. We're just going to work with what we have. So I left there a different person. And I never said anything to anybody. I never said a word to anybody. Fast forward, now we're home. I am reading my Bible, but I'm doing it secretly. Okay? It's like, I don't want anybody to know I'm doing this right now, but I'm doing this so my ex-husband will be at work. I'm a bus driver. I come home in the middle of my bus route. Oh, let's do this. They have this sparkly gray shiny shades right there. We are going to put that right there because that might help us. I am not a makeup guru. Remember that. Okay? So fast forward, we're home, and I'm reading my Bible and praying and doing all that. A month later, maybe longer. I don't even know the timeline. Couldn't tell you. My ex-husband came home from work in the afternoon one day, and he looked at me and he said, I don't want to be married anymore. And I said, okay. And that was it. That was it. He got a few things and left, and I don't know where he went, and I really don't care where he went, and I just knew he was gone. What did I do to my bangs here? I knew he was gone, and I knew I was okay with that for some reason, and I knew I would be okay. Being a bus driver, I have 3 daughters that I have to help support, and he not only left, he took all the money out of the bank, and he left me like with $5 or $6 in the bank account. He ended up taking all the money out of the bank, and I'm like, okay. I didn't argue about that. I didn't complain about that. I just didn't. I might have said, where'd you put it? And he might have said, I'm not telling. And that might, I don't even know. I don't even remember. But all I remember is I don't care where you put the money. He was not my kid's father. He was for like 11 years. And to 2 of my daughters, he was the only father my daughters knew. And he never said goodbye to them. Never did anything like that. Never, he just didn't care. I'm like, okay. So, the kids got home and I told them, and it was, what do you expect? He to this day still has never really said goodbye to them. Neither one of them ever had closure, and they went through it. Let me tell you, they went through it. They have a father that's already just a creep that they have no contact with. So they called my ex-husband. They called him dad. He was their dad. And he just up and left them. Said he didn't want a family. He said he didn't want a family anymore. He wanted to live the single life, and he wanted to be able to do whatever he wanted to do whenever he wanted to do it. And that's what he wants with his life. And I'm like, okay. The next morning, I had to go to work. I had to go back to work and drive the bus home after all that. I had to drive all the kids home. Do you know, the next morning, after I got up, I'm sitting at the table drinking my coffee thinking, I'm reading my Bible thinking, I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to do it anymore. And his family was a lot. They were just a lot. His mother was a lot. But it didn't mean I didn't love her, and his brothers, and they were just a lot. I didn't have to do it anymore. So I went on looking for lips. We're going to do something with lips. Okay, this is all Mary Kay, and it's all linked below. If you guys could just go, maybe even just sign up and be a person for me, but even look and don't buy anything, just sign up so I know you're there. And once in a great while, maybe I'll send you an email if we have sales or something, or a new product, but I won't spam you, I promise. And it doesn't cost anything. Here's me. I don't have to do it anymore, and I'm really happy about that. The next step was, he said, You have 30 days to get out of the house. Okay. Okay. So guess what? We were out within 30 days, and he's like, I don't care what you take. Okay. So I pretty much took everything that I know that I would need in another house. I did. He said I could take everything, so I did. But I was okay. I had a 1, 2, 3, 4-story house. 4-story house, 3 kids. We moved everything out and put everything in storage within 30 days. I ended up being like 105 pounds skinny because, I mean, it affected me. I didn't want to eat. I just didn't eat. My girls were feeding me. That's what was happening. So we ended up moving out, and he moved on, and I moved on, and I'm very, very happy now. And I believe that in Italy, in that church, I was supposed to be there. I was supposed to walk up in this church, and I was supposed to hear God and change my life, because my life would not be where it is today if I didn't go through all that heartache. So sometimes following Jesus is hard, but you know it's the right thing to do. And I knew that just saying, after he said I'm leaving, me just saying, okay. Didn't mean I didn't love him and care about him. It just meant I needed that in my life to move on. I needed that to move on. And today, look at me now. I have a wonderful husband that treats me like a queen, and I treat him like a king. He loves my family. He is not the father of any of my children. But you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't know that if you saw all of us together. Rob, if one of my kids needs something and they call, he will drop all he's doing. He's like, come on, we gotta go. You know, this one called and she needs help. This one called and the furnace is broke. I need to go over and help them. And you wouldn't even know it. He goes to their soccer games, and, you know, when he's not exhausted from work, he participates in our family like he has been there forever. And look at me now. I mean, this is my second YouTube channel. I have another YouTube channel where, I had all my teeth pulled out and started videoing that. And I think I have close to 30,000 subscribers over there right now. I'm not sure. It might be 28. I don't know. But I'm helping people. I have it because I'm helping people. I review products from all over the world, dentures, everything, all of it. This is a second channel that I started maybe 2 years ago right here. And it's kind of sat there. It's like I didn't know what to do with this channel. This is what I'm supposed to do with this channel. So if any of you out there are going through a hard time, and I know a lot of people are right now, I know they are, lean on God. Lean on God and listen to what he says. And how do you know when it's God? My mother told me this. How do you know when it's God speaking to you? God will speak to you in a calm way. If you got voices in your head saying, you need to do this and you need to do, that's the devil talking to you. That's the devil talking to you. Back off from that. And just wait and listen to what that little voice says to you. Because that little voice told me just to say, okay, bye. And that voice in the morning when I got up and I was reading my Bible, sitting there drinking my coffee, the voice saying, you don't have to do it anymore. You're going to be okay. You're not going to have to do it anymore. And then from there, I've got more of a story, because then from there, everything kind of went the way it should. But then here's me again doing my own thing and messing my life up, which I'll tell you about that. Because I had to go through certain parts of my life that were just devastating to me and traumatic. Some of them were traumatic. I got married again, and my ex-husband, I ended up getting away from him because he was arrested for domestic violence and put in jail. And I was able to get out of the house with whatever I needed while he was sat in jail. So, my life has not been easy. Nothing in my life has been easy. But I know with God, it's going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. And you're going to be okay. Because just trust in him. That's all you got to do. And listen. And if you feel a red flag coming on or something yelling at you inside, don't do that. I can tell you now, don't do that, because that's a red flag and that's the devil talking to you. And it's probably something you should do, and it's probably something you should just sit on and just wait. Just wait. So anyway, Mary Kay, I have a lot of their products here. So if you just go sign up and be one of my customers, you don't have to buy anything, but it would be nice just to have one customer, because I only have a couple right now, because I'm just starting this out, and I need a little help. I need a little help. So anyway, they do have a makeup remover that I absolutely love. It's this. So if you want to purchase something, look at their skincare. It's great. I have this, this right here, the wrinkle eliminator. I'm going to be 58, 59. Yeah, I'm going to be 59 this year. Look at. And I don't have filters on here, and I don't know what my lighting's doing, but so anyway, I would appreciate that. I really would appreciate that. Go check it out. All right, I will see you in my next video. Bye.